This video is sponsored by PCBWay, and this is 4 dead laptops. And hopefully, in about 10 minutes, they're going to be running my own private AI. I've taken my old 3-node cluster with its slightly questionable wiring, and I've turned it into a 4-node cluster with slightly less questionable wiring. Because, as a man who's 6'7", I've got to believe bigger is better. And following that logic, more is better too. Which is why I've added a second network switch. Both are 2.5 gigabit switches. One handles internet access, while the other is dedicated entirely to the communication between the nodes. Almost like a semi-high-speed private network between all 4 nodes. Although, given the hardware involved, it's more like a backed-up A-road. And before we start plugging things together, it's worth explaining what this thing's actually for. The goal is to run a large language model, or LLM, but to run it locally on my own network rather than on someone else's cloud. This is the technology behind ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. Normally give prompts and send it over the internet to a huge data center which plows through 1,000 GPUs, and that's how you get your response back. But I'm trying to do that on my own network, minus the thousands of GPUs. Hopefully. This isn't about outperforming ChatGPT, and I'm not trying to. This is about something I bang on quite a lot, owning your own tools wherever is possible. It's the same reason I own my own hammer. If I want to use it, I don't have to ask permission, pay per swing, or send someone else details of what I'm planning on building. So why the Lenovo ThinkPad L380? Well, I've used them several times before, and they used to be ridiculously cheap second hand. They're fairly power efficient, they're quiet, and they have most of the ports I need. Each node has an 8th gen i5 CPU, 32GB of DDR4 RAM, an NVMe SSD, and a dedicated 2.5 gigabit network adapter for cluster traffic. On their own, they're nothing special. Connect 4 of them together, and suddenly you've got 128GB of RAM, 4 CPUs, and a platform that's sort of capable of running AI models with varying degrees of success, as we'll find out. But before we get AIing, we've got to squeeze this 4th node in. Thankfully, about 90% of the groundwork had already been done from the previous design, so this was a fairly straightforward job. In Fusion, I shuffled a few bits around, I stretched the frame to fit the 4th node in, I added the extra network switch, and hey presto! And the 4-node cluster existed in pixel form. I sent off everything to the printer, fingers crossed, and this time, the 3D printing gods were kind to me, because everything came back exactly as it should. Following on from the printer gods, PCBWay have sponsored today's video. Now, as a 3D printer nerd myself, I can't think of anything more impressive than a titanium 3D printed benchy. And luckily, PCBWay were kind enough to send me one over. But PCBWay do far more than 3D printing. Whether you need CNC machining, sheet metalwork fabrication, injection moulding, or custom PCBs, you can upload your design, get an instant quote, and have parts manufactured and shipped straight to your door. Everything arrives really well packaged, and the quality is genuinely decent. It's well worth checking them out. I'll leave a link down below. Now, back to it. With that bit done, it was a case of dismantling the old cluster, swapping in the new printed parts, and before long, the 4 motherboards were sat snugly in their new home. With now most of the meat and gravy done of this build, it was time for the wiring, and this was something I was particularly keen to improve on the last time. Some of you might remember the slightly questionable wiring I mentioned earlier. It wasn't quite bad enough to stop me switching the old cluster on, but there was definitely a small part of me that wondered whether I'd wake up one morning to find my shed had become charcoal. So this time, I decided to do things properly. Fuses. Lots of fuses. Using a fuse buzz bar, I can bring the 24-volt power from the power supply and protect each motherboard with its own 5-amp fuse. Network switches with a 3-amp fuse, and then, just for good measure, I'll put a 15-amp fuse on the main feed coming into the buzz bar. Now, with the hardware built and the shed still standing, it was time for the software. First things first, I installed Ubuntu Server on each node, gave them a static IP, and then came the actual distributed AI cluster setup. And I'll be honest, setting up a distributed AI cluster across 4 Linux nodes isn't exactly a one-click install. Normally, this is the point where I disappear for a couple of weeks, scour GitHub, read lots of documentation I sort of half understand, and bodge my way through it after many evenings until I sort of get something I want to work. But I was recently watching a video by Basically Homeless, where he made a good point.
You literally just paste these 3 lines. All right, and then all you type is Claude.
Slap this bad boy in there, and it takes control of the terminal.
So that's exactly what I did. and it felt a bit naughty. So I went with Codex from ChatGPT. Claude does one. I'm not too sure about Gemini, but I think they're the two sort of main ones that are about. So I pointed Codex at the cluster. I let it do most of the heavy lifting, writing scripts, configuration, the networking, getting things installed and talking to each other. Now, if you've played about locally with AI, you've probably used Llama or possibly LM Studios. They tend to be the two that people reach for, but that's because downloading and running models is incredibly easy with that software. The problem is for me, Llama expects everything to run on a single machine, and as we know, I wanted these 4 nodes working as one. So instead, I prompted Codex to install llama.cpp, which is software which allows the 4 nodes to mesh together and act as one, pull their RAM together and run a large language model across all 4 nodes, but act as if they're one. And now, Codex isn't 100% perfect. It still needs a little bit of guidance along the way. You can't just sort of ask it to do it and leave it alone. You have to sort of prompt it still. Sometimes it gets a bit confused and you have to sort of hold its hand every now and then. But sitting there at my computer desk watching Codex do all this work, get most of it right, it's quite a scary thing. It does sort of make you think, we've all had it. And it reminded me perfectly of that quote from iRobot where Will Smith goes,
"Robots building robots."
It's very much like that. With the network set up and Llama CCP configured across all 4 laptops, it was time for the moment of truth, loading an 80 billion parameter model. Now, to put this into perspective, an 80 billion large language model is quite a beast. It's an intelligent bit of kit. And normally you would need like $5,000 worth of GPUs. You need 2 5090s or 3090s, 4090s. You need 2 series GPUs to run this. And if you didn't, you'd get, not enough memory and it would spit it out. But on my budget cluster, it actually loaded it. 3 of the 4 nodes of my ThinkPad pulled their RAM, split the layers, and really took it on the chin. And yeah, you heard me right. 3 of the 4 ThinkPads. I'll come back to that bit. So I asked it a question. I hit enter and waited. And it works. It's generating text. But my God, it is slow. We're talking 4 to 5 tokens per second. Now, you might be wondering, what on earth is a token? 1 token is about 0.75 words. So 4 tokens a second is 3 words a second. So to give you an idea, ChatGPT, that answers faster than you can read, basically. And that's about 50 to 80 tokens per second. But my cluster generates speed at sort of the pace my brain thinks, which, for those of you who know me, is very slow. And to be fair, it's not really the laptop's fault. It's physics, sort of. Because the 80 billion model is split across 3 separate CPUs. Every time the cluster generates a single word, 3 of the 4 motherboards have to pass data back and forth across the network cables. A proper high-end GPU moves data around 900 gigabytes a second. My digital motorway maxed out at about 2.5 gigabits. It's the hook, line and sinker, really. It's the classic bandwidth bottleneck of cheap hardware. Now let's go back to the thing that I just said. 3 of the 4 nodes. Splitting a model across multiple machines isn't free. Every extra node means more data flying back and forwards over the network before the cluster can spit out a single word. 3 nodes has 1 less person to share data with, so less back and forth between them. Which is really a bit of a kick in the teeth, because I now have a 4-node cluster which actually runs better as a 3-node cluster. Fantastic. Now, to access the AI models that Codex has magically set up for me, I'm using OpenWebGUI. It's basically a self-hosted version of ChatGPT's interface, but everything runs locally on my server, so nothing leaves my network. And now the final configuration that I've settled on is 3 different models, each suited to a slightly different task. First is Qwen A2B, which is nothing short of an incredible intelligent model. The downside is that on my hardware, it only manages around 3 to 5 tokens per second, which, let's face it, isn't great. It's fine if you have a task which you can sort of set and forget and come back. And then there's Qwen 30B, which I think will become my go-to model for everyday use. It runs at a much more respectable 9.8 tokens per second, which is far more practical for general tasks and really pretty usable. And finally, I have Qwen Coda 30B, which runs at 9.2 tokens per second, and as the name hints at, it's specifically tuned for coding, and it does a surprisingly respectful job at that. So there you have it, my locally hosted AI. 4 cheap, old office motherboards, which would have probably become e-waste pretty soon. With a few 3D printed bits and a handful of fuses and a helping hand from an AI assistant, I've built my own AI cluster capable of running some pretty large language models entirely offline. No subscriptions, no data harvesting, no permissions needed. Is 4 tokens per second going to replace ChatGPT? No, absolutely not. But as a proof of concept, as a first real step into my locally AI hosted world, I'd call that a win. But for now, I've got my own hammer, even if it only swings a few times a second. Thanks for watching. Joe.